All right, guys. Well, here is a review that is long overdue. We were kind of waiting to try and meet up with Nick and do like a full sit down and talk about it, but and we will be doing that, but things just got super busy and we just haven't had a chance to kind of link that up. So, but I still just wanted to at least get a review in on this lure. We will do a whole thing on the Tantrum lure. And the range of lures and kind of talk with Nick about it a bit. But for now, let's just do a single lure review on one of my favorite baits, probably my most productive big fish bait lately, the XL Bandit Kona Cut. We call it Rick from Arizona. And kind of give you a little background on that story. If you go online and you Google Rick from Arizona, there is a viral video of a guy named Rick from Arizona, and basically the long and short of it is it's a video about him talking about ripping and tearing it up in a party town somewhere, and I think he's in Jamaica or something. But it's a funny video. Check it out. That's where this came from. Nick and I had a few beers, we were kind of laughing, and he showed me that video or something, and me and my crew were laughing about it the next day, and then we put this lure out. I think he had just made this for me, and we put it out, and I was like, yeah, it's a ripping and a tearing, you know, and we just started calling it Rick from Arizona. And then subsequently that day, I think we caught 1 over 5 on it, and then we just said, hey, you know, we're gonna call it Rick from Arizona. And then it just started turning on. We were either catching big ones on it or they were piling on it and then eating something else in the spread. And so that's where the Rick from Arizona came from. This lure has just been phenomenal for me. And the funny thing about it, like, it is a Kona Cut, right? So it means that it is made for calmer weather, or like, you know, glacier seas. But I did run this thing in Cabo in the rough, and it ran pretty good. I've run it when we've had like short chop days in Kona, and it's run pretty good. You just have to fiddle with it a little bit and get it a little bit actually farther back. But it runs pretty spectacular. Again, where I run it is probably not where a lot of other people would, but I like to run this on my short rigger. I like to get it setting the hook up with it. I get it. I have the hook down and tilted, and I have the leader coil coming out the side of it, and I can get it way out into the clean water, and it's just like this explosive bait out there in that clean water that's just paddling along, just getting all kinds of attention. And yeah, pretty fantastic looking bait, really. So, you know, I like that one there. And, you know, it's a lure that you could run your, you know, most people would probably run it on their short corner. Maybe long corner would probably actually be better. I would probably advise that. But you could definitely run it short corner. It's super aggressive, spends a lot of time on the surface. It will go down a little bit but for the most part, it's just pretty much a molehill. You know, meaning it's pushing water, it's pushing a bulb of water in front of it for the majority of the time, and then doing a massive explosion, and then it'll do it again. And it just looks really good. It's a really consistent pop. It doesn't, you know, it's not erratic, so it's an easy bite. I've noticed that almost all the bites that I've had on it have been pretty aggressive, like they're eating it. Yeah, it's been phenomenal for me. I like, you know, the red eye with the white shell and the blue top, and all around a blue and white with pink underneath it. That's kind of like my Rick from Arizona colors right there. We can make them for you at GZ just like this. You just ask for that, and yeah, you got to go pick one up. He also makes this same shape without the Kona Cut, which would be a little bit better if you are like consistently fishing areas that are rough. But all in all, you're gonna be able to get away with this in most conditions, unless it gets super rough. But phenomenal bait, my staple short rigger bait, Kona Classic, pretty phenomenal, gets it done. Go check them out, the Tantrum XL Bandit Kona Cut. Rick from Arizona. Ripping and a tearing.